There have been F1 eras where specific drivers ruled the track, but Max Verstappen took domination to a whole new level in the 2023 season. He practically owned the racetrack. Verstappen's performance was mind-blowing. The gap between him and the second position, occupied by Sergio Perez, was a staggering 290 points. That gap was more than Perez's total points for the entire season, which stood at 285 points. Now that's a level of dominance that deserves a standing ovation. How was the Dutch driver able to deliver such a legendary performance? And how does Verstappen's 2023 season compare with some of the all-time greats? Let's find out. Max Verstappen has been achieving the unthinkable with just 9 F1 seasons. When Leclerc crashed out of the lead in the 2022 French Grand Prix, Verstappen seized the opportunity and won 9 out of the remaining 11 races. Before July of that year, we were still unsure about the title winner, but by the end, it was a record-setting stomp, with Verstappen achieving 15 wins in a single season. That was a historic feat. Heading into the 2023 season, everyone was buzzing about whether Max Verstappen could recreate his dominant performance from 2022. Mercedes was boasting about its W14 and Ferrari was confident about its machinery and straight-line speed. With the added challenge of a cost cap punishment that Red Bull was serving at the time, nobody anticipated them having an almost flawless season. Surprisingly, pre-season testing dropped a hint that Red Bull would still have the upper hand when the season kicked off, and this was confirmed during the qualifying for the season-opening Bahrain Grand Prix. Verstappen clocked in 0.3 faster than Charles Leclerc, who secured the third position. That was a massive statement from the Dutch driver. The Bahrain GP race was a Verstappen show. He quickly led the entire race, crossing the finish line 11.9 seconds ahead of his teammate Sergio Perez. A significant gap of nearly 40 seconds separated him from the third-placed Fernando Alonso. After this race, George Russell gave a chilling prediction, struggling with his underperforming Mercedes and finishing the race 55 seconds behind Red Bull. In a somewhat funny prediction, Russell stated that Red Bull would go on to win all 22 races in the year. Next was the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Perez secured pole position. The Mexican driver maintained his composure throughout the race, securing his first win since the 2022 Singapore GP. Meanwhile, Verstappen, starting in 15th place, steadily reached the second position by lap 25. He held on to this position for the rest of the race and recorded the fastest lap. Shifting gears to the third Grand Prix of the season, the Australian Grand Prix, Verstappen secured pole position. Although he briefly dropped behind Russell and Hamilton at the start, Verstappen reclaimed the lead by lap 12. Russell's retirement on lap 18 paved the way for Verstappen's comfortable journey to victory. Hamilton secured the second spot and Alonso finished third. The Azerbaijan Grand Prix continued Red Bull's dominance with Sergio Perez winning. Verstappen finished second and Leclerc secured third, making Ferrari's first podium finish. At this point, discussions about a Perez-Verstappen rivalry were buzzing, drawing parallels to the iconic Rosberg-Hamilton 2016 battle. Perez's early promise had some believing he could challenge Verstappen for the title. Even Max's dad, Jos Verstappen, saw Perez as a severe competitor after the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. However, Perez's performance took a hit and it looked like he forgot how to drive. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen showed everyone what dominating the grid means. After the Azerbaijan GP, Max Verstappen secured victory in the next 10 consecutive races. The only disruption to his dominant streak came when Ferrari's Carlos Sainz claimed the top spot at the Singapore GP. Undeterred, Verstappen bounced back in the Japanese GP and continued his winning streak. He dominated every practice session in Suzuka, clinched pole position, and then secured a straightforward victory. This triumph marked a historic moment as Red Bull became the first team to ensure the Constructors' Championship with 6 races remaining in the season. Verstappen continued winning until the season finale in Abu Dhabi. This level of dominance from Verstappen and Red Bull made the 2023 F1 season one of the most one-sided campaigns in the sport, with the Dutch driver utterly dominating the competition. Verstappen triumphed in 19 races during the 2023 season, surpassing his previous record of 15 wins in the 2022 season. Alongside these victories, he closed the gap with an impressive 21 podium finishes. 12 pole positions, and 9 fastest laps. The 575 points left him in a league of his own, a staggering 290 points ahead of his teammate and closest rival, Sergio Perez. The Red Bull and Max Verstappen combo in the 2023 season stands as an unparalleled domination in Formula One history. Not even Michael Schumacher's remarkable 5-season championship streak at Ferrari between 2000 and 2004 can compare. In 2023, Verstappen achieved an extraordinary feat, amassing 575 points, equivalent to 92.7% of the maximum possible points a driver could earn. This surpasses Michael Schumacher's 2002 record, where he secured 84.7% of the total points. The incredible thing is that Verstappen averaged over 26 points per race, exceeding the 25 points awarded for a win because he triumphed in 4 out of 5 sprint races and earned points for the fastest laps. His points comfortably exceeded the combined total of the next best team and its 2 drivers, setting a new record for winning margins in Formula One. That's mind-blowing. In his 2023 season, Verstappen showcased an impressive blend of outstanding performance and strategic brilliance. But was this dominance a result of the car or his driving skills? Many of Verstappen's wins in 2023 seemed almost effortless, thanks to the RB19 car's strength and the superb Red Bull pit crew and strategy team. Verstappen's ability made victories look easy, something other drivers might struggle to replicate. His teammate often needed help securing a podium finish when he sped ahead. Just as we saw in Monaco, as Verstappen clinched a Monaco pole with a magical lap, his teammate faced a qualifying crash. Since the 2022 French Grand Prix, Verstappen claimed victory in 28 out of 33 races. Perez won only 3 times during the same period in the same car, designed by Adrian Newey and powered by the same Honda engine. This isn't about criticizing Perez, but he's a key factor because success demands more than just a great car. Drivers aren't on an equal footing. Despite Red Bull boasting the fastest car, Perez faced more challenges than Verstappen. Perez was at risk of losing second place in the championship. Determining how much a driver's performance relies solely on skill is tricky, but it's clear that only some, if any, could replicate Verstappen's 2023 results. Even past dominant cars like the 2014-16 Mercedes with superior race pace couldn't match Verstappen's achievements. Imagine 2 midfield quality drivers like Perez in the RB19. One might win the championship but face intense competition. Replace them 2 with Lance Stroll quality drivers and Lewis Hamilton might have secured the championship for Mercedes last season. Now insert a world-class driver into the RB19 and victory is almost guaranteed. And that was what we saw with Max Verstappen in 2023. And Verstappen and Red Bull's dominance isn't finished. Formula One has seen its fair share of teams ruling the track, but the last 10 years have been something else. Before Red Bull's recent success, Mercedes held the crown for 7 years, following 4 years of Red Bull victories. Only 2 teams have grabbed the Constructors' Championship in the last 14 years, a feat that is yet to happen. Ferrari had its heyday in the early 2000s, and before that, teams like McLaren and Honda dominated, although not for long, as we're seeing today. However, periods of dominance tend to end suddenly, but this usually happens because of significant rule changes, and we won't see any of those until 2025, and the drivers aren't switching teams. For the first time, every driver starts the next season with the same team from the previous one. So brace yourself, as the 2024 season might feel too familiar after the one wrapped up in Abu Dhabi. It's hard to imagine anyone outdoing the incredible year Verstappen just had. If Red Bull stays competitive, and you can bet it will, there's a solid chance he'll be eyeing that 4th title. Verstappen's career path indicates the potential for more championship titles in the future, especially considering the limited regulation changes until the introduction of a new generation of cars in 2026.